Hi, this is Emma, and welcome to Esoteric Detective. Sometimes when you have exhausted all leads as to finding someone, and have no options left, you might want to turn to esoteric methods. That is, maybe call in a psychic detective. But do they really solve any cases, when they are brought in to help find someone? Let's take a look, as Esoteric Detective brings you the top 5 cases solved by psychic detectives. Number 5. The case of Edith K.E. Corius. Edith was a small child who went missing in 1961. She vanished from outside her home in the Chelsea section of Manhattan. Her uncle was watching her skip along a sidewalk when he stepped out to get some cigarettes, but when he came back she was gone. Vanished. Over the next few days the entire area around the neighborhood was searched by police and locals, but Edith was never found. It was feared that something profoundly sinister had befallen the small child. At a loss to find Edith, police sought the help of Gerard Croizet, a Dutch clairvoyant. Gerard was told nothing about the crime he had been asked to help solve, only given a photograph and a map. At once, Gerard saw the crime in his mind. He described that the child had been murdered, and described the location of the body as a grey building with 5 floors. He said to police that on the 2nd floor, they would find the child. He also saw a clue to the location, as something that had to do with a dark woman sitting at a window. After this information was passed to police and those in the neighborhood, the body of Edith was found within a matter of hours. Poor Edith was found dead in the same building that Gerald described and even on the same floor. Within a matter of days, the police now had a suspect, as they linked together sightings of a stranger within the location of where Edith's body was found. And it was not long until the murderer Fred J. Thompson was arrested as the killer. Number 4. The case of Andre Daigle of River Ridge. Andre was a 27-year-old man who was last seen enjoying a beer in a Louisiana bar. That was, until he was approached by a young 22-year-old woman who asked him to give her a lift home. 4 days later, Andre was reported missing by his family. He never came home from the bar, and he seemed to walk out the door with the woman, and into thin air. The police did not take action because they thought that Andre had just simply run off with the young woman, and hence they failed to investigate. With all hope lost to the location of Andre, the family decided to go to a California psychic named Rosemary Kerr with nothing more than a picture of Andre and a map of the location he had been. Rosemary Kerr held the picture and said to Andre's sister, Elise, that she saw in her mind a long bridge, railroad tracks, and felt terrible pains in Andre's head. She said when she felt the pains, Andre was sitting inside his truck, and later would state that she knew at this time, Andre was dead and had been murdered. Rosemary Kerr then traced the map and said that Andre was located in Slidell. Daigle's body was later found sewn inside a sofa dumped in a swamp near the community of Manchac. But after the killers were caught, 2 men named Charles Gervais and Michael Phillips, it was shown that they used a young woman to lure Andre from the bar in order to kill him. It was later found that the killing took place in the exact location where psychic Rosemary Kerr said it took place, near a long bridge and railroad tracks, and inside Andre's own truck from a head injury. Number 3. The List family murder. In 1971, a media storm was created when 16-year-old Patricia List did not show up for school, and after an investigation it was found that Patricia List, her mother and 2 brothers, had been murdered by their husband and father, John List, who had left a written confession before he had fled. His whereabouts were unknown. After an extensive manhunt, John List was never found. That was until 1989, on the 18-year anniversary of the List family murder, there was sudden interest in the case. At this time, with no leads, and all hope lost of finding John List, the murderer, former detective of the case, Jeffrey Paul Hummel, who was now working in the Major Crimes Unit, decided to ask the help of psychic detective named Elizabeth Lerner. Once consulted, Elizabeth said that John List was alive, and after the murder had escaped via bus, and that he had a new woman in his life from Baltimore. She also said that the word Virginia played a large clue as to where John List was located. With this information, Detective Jeffrey Paul Hummel launched a new investigation and found that not only was the psychic's information right, but eerily so. For John List was soon arrested in Virginia. And after questioning about the murder, it was concluded that John List had fled the crime via bus and was married to another woman, a second wife, in Baltimore. Just as Elizabeth Lerner, the psychic, described in detail. Number 2. The case of Sylvester Tunnett. Sylvester Tunnett was an old man of 78, who had mysteriously disappeared. The Monroeville police had searched far and wide to find Sylvester, however, they were not able to find him. This was when the Tunnett family decided to ask for the help of psychic Nancy Meyer. After looking at photographs of Sylvester Tunnett, Nancy seen in her visions that Sylvester was dead, and he was not a victim of violence. According to Nancy's vision, Sylvester was confused and lost when he was walking in the forest. The next day after Nancy's visions, they found Sylvester's body only 100 yards from the location that Nancy had given on a map. Number 1. The case of Arthur Herbert. A small plane had been flying through the skies in 1984 when it vanished somewhere over Massachusetts or New Hampshire, at least searchers guessed at the time. The plane carried 4 people, including Arthur Herbert, the pilot. After a search was launched for the plane by Civil Air Patrol, no plane or crash site was found. The location was just too large and forested to find anything, and all hope was lost as to where the plane would be. But Arthur Herbert's sister, Jessica Herbert, did not give up so easy. She sought the help of Noreen Rainier, a popular psychic detective who was referred by Jessica's former husband, an FBI agent that had used Noreen Rainier in the past. Once consulted, Noreen gave Jessica Herbert not only the exact location of the crash site, but the exact longitude and latitude of the plane on a map. This new information led to the plane and body of Arthur Herbert being recovered. Something that is considered amazing by even today's standards, and may have said is the best proof to date of true psychic powers. What do you guys think? Do you think that maybe we should pay more attention to the visions of psychics, that they could help us in ways that we cannot imagine, or do you think that it is more luck and chance than psychic powers that played a role in finding these people? Stay tuned and subscribe to Esoteric Detective to keep up to date with the strange and unusual. And please give a thumbs up if you liked the video. And do let me know what you think in the comments section. Until next time, open your third eye. What you might see might very well amaze you.